الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سمع الله
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له بهذه دعوة تامة وصلاة الطيبات وعلى وسيلة وبحث المقام محمودا الذي وعدت إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تعالى في كتابه العزيز: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. أما بعد. Alhamdulillah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me another day of Jumu'ah. And the day of Jumu'ah, as you know, Hafidhukumullah, is not merely meant to be a day in which our bodies gather to offer the prayer of Jumu'ah, but rather the day of Jumu'ah is meant to be a day of Jam'ah, a day of gatheredness, a day of focus in which my qalb, my heart, gathers on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore, we know in our tradition of fiqh that there are many beautiful precursors to the day of Jumu'ah and many beautiful preparatory actions on the day of Jumu'ah. To read Suratul Kahf, to make abundant salawat on Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wasallam, to wear the best that I have, to take a purificatory bath, to wear perfume, to come to the masjid early, All of that is meant to remind me not to lose the opportunity to focus my mind, my heart, my will, my emotions on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to draw as much positive spiritual energy on the day of Jumu'ah for the remaining days of the week, to evaluate the week that passed. Was I focused on Allah in my words, in my deeds, in my feelings, in my thoughts, in my strivings, in my will? Was my heart in jam' of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And to prepare and to nourish myself and to seek the nutrition of the day of Jumu'ah for a jam' of my heart and my will and my focus and my orientation for the next 6 days to come. In addition, we remind ourselves that we are still in the day of Muharram, in the month of Muharram, and that Muharram is a blessed month of the sacred months assigned by the Creator of space and time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assigns and chooses times and places to be special, and He imbues them with special favors and treasures from Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He has chosen this month that we are still in to be of the most blessed months of the year. And there is no coincidence. The last month of the Muslim calendar year was a sacred month of Dhul Hijjah. And the first month of the Muslim calendar year is also sacred. And to begin the year with a certain orientation, and that I must have a certain attitude that is contained even in the word Muharram. The name of the month is indicative of the attitude that I must have as I begin the new year. Muharram from Hurma, Muharram from Haram, Muharram from Haram. All of those fields of beautiful meaning indicate to specialness, indicate to sacredness, indicate to something that should be sacrosanct, as though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding me, reminding us as we begin the new year to be in a state of specialness, to be in a state of sanctity, to make the rest of the year sacrosanct and special. May we not lose that meaning in these remaining days, 6 or so of the month of Muharram. May we not miss the barakah of at least the niyyah, a niyyah sadiqah, a true innocent intention that I make the year special with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And of the special features of this year, in these days of Muharram, what is the most special thing that I should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for? What is the most special thing that I and my near ones and my loved ones and dear ones should seek in entering into the new year? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in a text, مَا نَزَلَ فِي الْأَرْضِ شَيْءٌ أَقَلُّ مِنَ الْيَقِينِ. He said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not cause to descend on earth anything rarer than the gift of yaqeen. And yaqeen, as you know, translated as certainty. And certainty is to know something or to believe in something without any doubt, without any hesitation. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is saying that of what Allah gives, of gifts, of treasures, of bounties, of graces, the rarest and the most special is the gift of yaqeen. He says, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in a second text, and this second text offers more meaning. إن الناس لم يؤتوا في هذه الدنيا خيرا من اليقين والعافية فسلوهما, said he sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that human beings were not given in this dunya anything better than two things. The first one, yaqeen, and the second one is afiyah. And then he says, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, to the one who would and to the one who doesn't know the value of what is offered by Allah of yaqeen and afiyah, he says, فَسَلُوهُمَا, so ask Allah for them. Yaqeen, why is it so rare and why is it so precious? And hafizakumullah, it's rare not only amongst those who are not Muslims, it's rare amongst Muslims. It's the rarest commodity, the rarest gift among Muslims. Why would it be so precious? Because he says explicitly in this text, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that human beings were not given anything better than yaqeen. First, and afiyah second. We can think, and we should, and we can imagine, what would my life be if I knew with certainty that Allah was watching me? How would I be? How would that knowledge, that nur, that light of yaqeen, how would it reform me? How would it reform what I say, what I do, what I feel, what I think, to know that Allah is watching me externally and that Allah is watching my mind, my heart, my emotions, my feelings, my drives, my will, every single moment, every dimension of my existence, my psychological existence, my mental, my emotional, my spiritual, my rational, my individual, my family, every level of my wujud, of my being, Allah is watching. How would that reform me in what I need to reform? And how would that transform me if I knew with yaqeen that Allah is the source of peace? As-salam. If I knew with yaqeen that Allah is the source of all security, al-mu'min. If I knew that Allah is the source of all goodness, al-bar. If I knew that Allah is the source of all rizq, al-razaq. If I knew that I will meet Him, subhanahu. If I knew that around me there were angels watching me and interacting with me, how would I be? How would I live? This would be, as some would say, an ecological change, not a change that is additive or subtractive. An additive change is I have something and I add it. And now I have what I have plus that thing. Like I add something on my table. Now my table has an additional item. Adding yaqeen is not additive. Not having yaqeen is not subtractive. I take that thing off my table and now my table is minus the thing. There are some factors that are and produce an ecological change. The entire system changes. If I add foreign weeds to an ecosystem, it's not the ecosystem plus the weeds. The entire system is changed. So having yaqeen, seeking yaqeen, produces an ecological change in my spiritual, my rational, my social, my mental, my psychological ecosystem. And that change will reflect in society in every single way. He said in a text, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, نجا أول هذه الأمة باليقين. He said the first of this ummah, ostensibly speaking about the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum. How did they achieve success? Naja. How did they achieve safety? Naja. How did they achieve salvation? How? Bil yaqeen, by the strength of their certainty, by the strength of their iman. And he says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ما أخاف على أمتي إلا ضعف اليقين. The only thing that I fear for my ummah is their lack of yaqeen, their lack of certainty. And yes, he feared many things, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wasallam, for his ummah. But to emphasize the primacy, the essentiality of certainty, and to indicate that the source of all other fears, the source of all other harms, the source of all other woes is because of my lack of yaqeen. In the second text, Hafidhukumullah, he said, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that people were not given in this dunya anything better than yaqeen and afiyah. Afiyah is well-being, is a comprehensive word that includes all elements of welfare, all elements of well-being. If I say afiyah, I mean welfare and benefit at every level. Physiologically, mentally, rationally, socially, politically, in my civic life, in my relationship with my children, with my wife, my rational ability, my spirituality, all of that I seek from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala afiyah. I seek welfare. I seek benefit. And now he said, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that people in life were not given anything better than first yaqeen and then afiyah. There is no afiyah without yaqeen. There is no true afiyah without yaqeen. Because the moment I have surety, certainty, firm faith in Allah, in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in what comes from Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, if I have that, and if I consequently out of love, out of gratitude, out of certainty, out of optimism, if I follow that guidance, my secular life and my sacred life will only be filled with afiyah and benefit. As much afiyah as is possible in a world of trial and tests. And that afiyah will allow me, even in those tests, to be in afiyah. Because if I am in a general state of welfare, the way I react and interact in tests and trials will be positive, will be noble, will be dignified. And so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we must, because at the end of the text He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, فَسَلُوهُمَا, ask Allah for both of them. Let my entry, our entry into the new year, let it be a sacred entry. Let it be an entry of specialness with distinction. And let me and let us seek from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with regular dua, at least once a day, if not twice, if not thrice, if not after every salah. Let me seek from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the best that He gives to His ibad. Let me seek yaqeen, and let me seek and ask Him and entreat Him for عافية. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت وباركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر من نصر الدين. اللهم اخذل من خذل الدين. اللهم اجعلنا هادين مهديين، لا ضالين ولا مضلين، لا مغيرين ولا مبدلين. اللهم اشف مرضانا وارحم موتانا وعافي مبتلانا واجبر كسرانا وأتم شفاءك على مرضانا شفاء